Welcome to Gabe in the Kitchen. Have you ever wondered how easy is it to make a paratha? Well, today I'm going to show you just how easy that is right now. So it is literally the easiest thing ever and only 3 ingredients. 4 if you count water, but who counts water? So you got 500 grams of plain flour in here, 10 grams of salt. Just get that in there. Now at this point you want to incorporate your salt. Just get your fingers in like a rake shape and then just stir that together till you're happy. You're gonna add 30 grams of oil. This is just plain neutral oil. This is vegetable oil. You can use sunflower oil, rapeseed oil, whichever you wish. Get that in there. Just gonna do the same raking action. Then we've got 300 grams or milliliters of water, just plain old water, straight in there. And we'll do the exact same thing. Again, just rake your fingers. Yes, I've got gloves on because I do not like the feeling of wet dough. You wanna give it a little bit of a knead. 5 minutes is plenty, honestly, because we're gonna let this rest in the bowl for about 15 minutes so everything just gets nice and smooth. It relaxes the dough nicely. Imagine that on your fingers, guys. That is horrendous. No way. Yep, so just get your cling film on there and let it rest for 15 minutes. Cling film stops the moisture from escaping. That's literally it. So yeah, leave it in a warm place for 15 minutes and we'll come back to that. After about 15 minutes, our dough is actually looking pretty good. So all I'm doing here is getting a bit of oil on my hands just to lubricate it, because I don't want it sticking to the dough, you know? The dough is still a bit sticky, but it's a lot less sticky than it was. And we're gonna knead that for 5 minutes. So guys, if your dough is a little bit too sticky like ours was, don't be shy to add more flour. So flour your surface and then you just carry on as normal with your kneading. Now you want to do this for 5 minutes. Now we're going to split our dough as evenly as we can. We want about 80 gram pieces, but you can also go bigger to about 100 gram pieces. 80 grams seems to be good enough for us. So we're just going to split them in half and half again. And then wait to see what we're working with. Gently roll it and then place it on a grease proof. And then the last piece goes in. We're just gonna let this all rest for 15 minutes. You wanna cover that with cling film. Woo!
Didn't you just reuse the cling film that you used before?
I could have, but I didn't. But yeah, leave that to rest for 15 minutes and then we'll come back to that. So rolling it out is super easy. We've already done a few and we've eaten a few because we're hungry. They are delicious. So yeah, that's why you can probably see bits of cooked paratha on there, because my hands have just been eating paratha. Anyway, grab yourself one of the bowls, and what you want to do is you want to roll it out as thin as you can. The thinner you get it, the flakier your parathas will be. So try and get it as thin as possible. But remember, if you get it too thin, it's going to be really hard to work with. You just have to practice. If you want to find the perfect thickness, just practice. You've got 10 doughs to work with. And even if they have holes all over the place, it does not matter. It still tastes amazing. And then grab yourself some ghee and then spread that all over the surface. And what you want to do is you want to pinch from the corner. It will rip. So pinch from the corner and then pull to create lovely folds just like that. These are all going to be beautiful layers when your paratha cooks. So I'm just going to go this way and then look at that. This is one way. There's plenty of ways you can do this, guys. If you have a better way of creating folds, as an accordion method where you just basically fold it on itself, you can go ahead and use that method if you wish. Now, when you're happy with your pull, you want to roll it from the thickest end. I find this makes it a lot less likely to fall apart and have holes if you start with the thickest end. And then roll that. Can you see all those layers? Oh, beautiful. Roll that as tightly as you can. All the way to the end. And now, when you grab the end, you want to tuck it underneath and you want to pinch that right in there, like so. And there you have it. Your paratha is nearly there. Now you want to use your fingers and push. You want to get the dough to basically let go. Let go of all your tension. You're giving it a nice gentle massage. Massage. Let go of that tension, Mr. Dough or Mrs. Dough. You're going to be nice and tasty for me, okay? Yes. Speak to your dough. That's how it will respond. And then, at this point, you can start rolling it out. It's a lot easier when you've used your fingers beforehand. Otherwise, you're just going to be slip sliding all over the place. And then gently roll into about an 8-inch circle. This will be hard because your surface is greased. You know, your rolling pin is greased. Your dough isn't sticking to the table, but be patient, bear with it. Keep going till you get a nice circle.
Gabriel, am I allowed to have holes?
Yeah, of course you're allowed to have holes. What's a good paratha without a few holes in there? Go ahead and do the rest. We go over to the frying pan. You want this on a low medium heat. Teaspoon or 2 or 3.
No.
The more is better. Go on, treat yourself. Why not?
Treat yourself to heart disease, hypertension.
Get that nice and warm. Pick up your, it's very fragile, so be careful. Pick up your rolled out paratha and then drop that in your ghee. See, that wasn't too bad, was it? Now at this point you have 2 options. You can fully cook this all the way through and eat it, or you can cook it and freeze it. We call that the drying. So you can dry this out, which is basically cooking it so you don't see any wet dough, and then you take it off the heat and then just put it in the freezer. You can just resume whenever you feel like you want a paratha. So that's what we're going to do to the rest of the dough. Or you can cook it all the way through, and that's when you get a nice deep Maillard reaction all the way around. Oh yeah. So I'll show you the point where you can put it in the freezer. So at this point you can see the dough is mostly dry. Now here is the point where you can safely freeze it away and you're good to go. So you just get it out the freezer when you're ready, and then just put it back on and carry on. That's literally that easy. Just like, you know, the frozen ones you can get, just do it exactly the same way. But we're gonna carry on because we wanna fully cook this. So what you'll see is it will develop more and more of a color on the top. So at this point, I like to get super naughty. I add even more ghee on the top, guys. Look at this. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. You can go ahead and use salted butter. That will be even better. Jeez. Dang. It just adds a little bit of extra je ne sais quoi, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Gabriel's gonna die early.
I'm not doing this every day, okay? Don't do this every day, guys. Even though it's very tempting because this is tasty. Take that off. You want to release the steam inside the dough because then it gets chewy and soggy. Too chewy and too soggy in the middle. So when it's cooled down sufficiently that you can handle, you want to press it together and whoo, too hot. So just press that together like so. Guys, look at that. Look at the flakiness of that. That is gorgeous. And there you have it. Deliciously flaky. Look at that. Just look at the layers, guys. Homemade paratha does not get any better than this. Make sure you try this, guys, please. Guys, I mean it. This is the nicest paratha I've had in a while. Oh my God. Thank you so much for watching. If we've added any value, please do subscribe. There'll be more quality videos.
That like button.
I can't even say that with a straight face. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. See ya. Bye.
Bye.